I enjoyed most of, you won't believe what this episode is about, Act 3 will shock you, but not all of it. This is the 14th episode of the 33rd season of The Simpsons. This is directed by Jennifer Moeller, and in general, it wasn't too bad. Homer goes to the shop to get Santa's little helper some ice cream. I won't give the setup for this, but it makes sense up until that point, and he puts the windows down, everything's going really well. But then Santa's little helper gets overexcited and he jumps around in the car and accidentally presses the buttons to put the windows up. Definitely wouldn't have happened when we had wind-up windows. And then some passers-by see the dog in the now closed windowed car. And when Homer comes out, they give him what for, and people are videoing it, and it gets put on the internet, and everybody hates him. And then he does something else bad, and eventually... well, not eventually, quite quickly actually, he has to take part in a course with other people who have done stuff that have gone viral on the internet. And I won't say any more than that or exactly what happens, but I feel like my interest in the episode was pretty strong until near the end, and I'll discuss why with a spoiler warning, but generally speaking, it held my attention most of the way through. The title is so long, but the title is of course a parody of clickbait titles, and the episode does look a lot at clickbait. It's kind of a combination of viral videos. To give a personal highlight, Helen Lovejoy is referred to as Lemonade Karen, and the clip we see is rather amusing and unfortunately all too realistic. But we also have a look at different clickbait headlines, and I found that to be so amusing because it's just so relatable and very, very well done and very well written. And for the most part, it was an enjoyable episode. And of course, if it encourages or instructs even one person to not leave their dog in a closed window car, particularly on a hot day, then it's done a good thing. If it draws attention to the fact that you shouldn't do that, even if that's all anybody takes away from this episode, even if the rest of the episode was terrible, which it isn't, that would be a pretty great thing. So I'm pleased that it did that. In general, I would be happy to watch it again. I don't think it's an episode that I would go to if I was just in the mood for a random episode, but there isn't anything about it that didn't work for me apart from the ending, which I'll discuss in a moment. But I really enjoyed it. Some really important messages in there. Some very 21st century content there. I still struggle to believe The Simpsons is in the 21st century. I still feel like I'm watching episodes from the late 90s, early noughties. I know some people will disagree with that and say that actually it's completely different. And it is in some ways, but I'm still enjoying it. And this episode is thankfully no exception to that. So the ending, I won't actually say what happens at the end. But I will say that I think the last minute and a half, maybe not even that long actually, but just the final few minutes at the most, didn't take the direction I wanted. I don't exactly know what I was hoping for or what I expected to find. And on the one hand, I kind of like the fact that they're saying, look, once it's out there, there is no way to erase it. Or at least no sensible way of erasing it. I think that's an important message because people may not realise that, especially if they don't spend that much time online, that once something's out there, people can copy it and make recordings of it. It doesn't matter. Once it's out there, you kind of lost control of that. So I like the fact that they weren't just giving this easy fix. Well, maybe easy fix isn't the right phrase, but they weren't suggesting that actually you can just get rid of it and everything will be resolved. But I still didn't love the last minute or so. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't what I was wanting. But that aside, I really enjoyed the episode. I'm not going to say the title again, but I would be very happy to watch it again.